Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap Session for Tuesday, November the 28th, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We do create multiple hypotheses in order to have a plan in place for whatever the market throws at us. We do not know what the market's going to do. We can simply take a look at what the normal auction would be, how to recognize what and who is in control, and then we execute the plan that best suits what the market is doing. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to during the pre-market session, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so taking a look at yesterday. So yesterday, our Hypo 1 was an open auction in range, a move down to test the 96-97 level and finding buyers and then rotating us up through to equalize the Globex all-time high that was put in at the 26.0450. Hypo 2 was an open auction in range, a push up, take out the unequalized all-time high, then find responsive buyers and rotate us back down towards the VPOC and possibly coming down towards the 96-97 basing and then coming up and closing back in around the 98 to 26.01. You can check the hypos from yesterday's video. Hypo 2 was exactly what we got, but after making the first move, put in the lower high, got the impulse wave down, we really didn't get any continuation, and we just sort of went sideways and created yet another small range with low volatility and low volume and just nothing. I mean, we were in this trade, we were in that short here. And that trade lasted, 4 hours. It was we traded within a 1 3/4 point range. It was just ridiculous, and you just can't trade that. Anyway, that was yesterday. Taking a look at the economic news for the day. 8:30, we did have IPPI for Canada and RMPI. Pretty much a bit of a beat, not much to go on there. In 1 minute, we've got the U.S. Red Book. 4 minutes, the housing price index, and S&P, and CSHPI composite. So we've got some fair large amount of news. Red Book just came out there. It was a bit of a miss. Minus 0.2, month over month, year over year, came out at 4.8. We do have FOMC member Powell speaking in 49 minutes, and then 10 o'clock, we've got CB Consumer Confidence in Richmond Manufacturing, Richmond Services, and then we've got Harker speaking. We got the Dallas Fed Services at 10:30. Bank of Canada Financial Review with the Bank of Canada governor speaking at 11:15. We've got the 4-week bill auction, and then we've got Munchkin speaking later this afternoon. So a fair amount of news, but remember, we've got Yellen testifying tomorrow. So that's that's going to also be something that's going to dominate the talk on the headline news today. Taking a look at the macro to micro, I always like to start with this very simple candlestick chart. I use my paper money and toss. I love the drawing tools, and I use my regular toss for my options. Let me just get rid of this open interest. I like to start with a monthly, and I use a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. This is where I do my charting as well. What I'm looking for in terms of the macros, I want to see in each time frame where we are within the time frame in terms of trend. Do we have good slope, good separation of the trend? Are they challenging the trend by breaking below the 9? Are they violating the trend and possibly starting a new trend with a break of the 20? You can see the monthly is very much intact. We just put in a new all-time high in the monthly in the S&P at 2605.50. We made a move to it in the Globex at 2605.25, and we're currently just trading just below it right now. So the trend is very much intact on the sorry, that is the weekly, but nothing is different in the monthly. The monthly, you can see you got good slope and good separation. We're still in the upward channel of the upward sloping fork that we've been following for quite some time. This is our 12th month of one time framing up. This trend is not even close to being violated in the longer time frames. It doesn't get violated until we get into the 2467 area on the monthly, on the weekly. It doesn't even get challenged until we get down below the 2570.50. And then as we move down to the daily, you can see that we had broken below the 9 and the 20. We thought that it was possible to turn. And then the very next day, they took it back, and we get the continuation pattern. Good slope, good separation. Price is paralleling the 9 very nicely. Going to the intraday, you can see that we've got price holding above the 20. We keep coming down and testing it, but we're unable to close below it, and we're closing back above the 9 and the 20. Good slope, good separation, trend is intact there. Going to the 30-minute, you see very good trend, good slope, good separation. We do have a naked cross on the 30-minute down here at 25.99.50. So if we do break below the 20, that is going to be your primary target below. Going to the 15-minute, again, good slope, good separation, trend is intact. All the time frames, okay, are all showing that this is trend continuation, and we're likely to go up and break the all-time high and put yet another all-time high. I think the count is now 68 new all-time highs put in 2017. Just an unbelievable year in the markets. Hasn't been seen, I don't know in how long. Most people are talking about the 99 area. Here we are testing the new all-time high. Looks like we're going to put in a new all-time high in the Globex, creating an unequalized high. You can see on the Keltner that we've got room to go to 2607.50. But let's take a look at the big picture. So just giving it context, we broke out of that balance that we were in, went into price discovery, and then we created this balance up here with a double distribution and a value area high of the 87.25, value area low of the 53.25. Our VPOC was down at the 25.49 just before they gapped up. That shifted up to the 77.50. We had a 3-day balance, accepted price above it, 81.50. That was the last price before the breakout. We gap up, we break out of value, go up, put a new all-time high in, and then we balance out for 3 days around the 98, and then again we go and put a new all-time high in, and we're about to put another one in. I'm going to expand this out, but really I also want to take a look at what the 2-day balance is. So I'm going to draw another smaller little profile right here, and you can see that the two-day balance is the 2601.50 area. So we'll watch that for key support. There's not a lot to guide us. We still have that measured move up to the 2606.50, likely to get hit even before the open here. Our over underline is going to be the 99.50. Looking for a move back to the 98 if we break that, but more likely come down and test the 94.75, 93.50. 93.50 becomes our key line in the sand. Below that, I'm looking for a move back into this 90.25, but more likely down to test the value area high of the microcomposite of the breakout we just did and come back to the half gap fill down here. Which I believe is at 86 and a quarter. So take a look at the overnight picture. We've got a double distribution again in the overnight. We're banging on the all-time high. We've just creating a week all-time high at 26.0550. And look if we get some expansion. I can't put the high in yet because we've got 28 more minutes to go, and likely going to expand our high. Our overnight low is down at the 97.50, one tick below yesterday's range low. We have an LVN at 2650. I'm actually going to use that as my over underline. I'm going to raise it from the 99.25 because it was significant. Remember that the 2650 was our prior all-time high in the RTH. So if we get under it, I'll be targeting that 99.50. That is that one tick below the range low from the Friday session, the holiday session. So I'll be targeting the 99.50, looking to see if we get support just below it at the value area low. That will be a trade area. And then we've got this double distribution with the LVN from yesterday at 2602.50. That will be a trade level. I'll expand that down to the 2602. So any longs I want to take above the 2602.50. Any shorts I want to be below the value area high from yesterday's session, and targeting that over underline with the takeout of the naked close. Our close yesterday was 2601.50, and our naked VPOC was right there as well. We've got the all-time high. Here we are hitting the measured move there. So we'll have a trade level there with the target at the upper distribution HVN. Whoops. And then there's not much to guide us up there until we get to the 2610. Our daily ATR, full session 20 period average true range is running at 1551. So based off of the Globex low of 2597.50, our daily upside ATR target is 2613. Off of, we've got a current high of 2606.50 minus the 1551. Our downside daily, our ATR target is going to be 2591, but that's likely going to shift, and we'll just have to make adjustments. There's just, there's nothing I can do right now because we're likely to continue to expand this up a bit. So depending on where we're opening in 25 minutes, we're either going to open just outside of range or just inside of range, but outside of value. Overnight inventory, if we look at the overnight inventory, it is pretty neutral in terms of net short, net long. I'd say probably about 60% net long. Do expect to see some rebalancing on the open. So our overnight VPOC It could shift to the 2604 50, but currently right now it's at the 2603. So we'll just mark it there for the time being. And again, there's nothing I can do when we're pressing. And we've been seeing this so often lately where we're coming into the RTH session and we're pounding on the highs and, and doing, the make and break on the Globex high almost on the open. In terms of hypotheses, the trend is still very strong to the upside, looking for some rebalancing. So my hypo 1 is an open auction out of range, a push down into the 2603.75 to the 2601 area, somewhere in between the 0375 and the 0150. I'm expecting to see the buyer step in, rotate us up, and continue the trend up, and targeting the 2610 area for the rule of 10 to play out. But closing somewhere in around the 2608 area. I'm not expecting a ton of range today. It is turnaround Tuesday, so we have to have that possibility. But I'm expecting maybe a 9 to 13 point range today. In terms of my hypo 2, I'm looking at a open auction just out of range or just in range, but outside of value, a push up to equalize the new all-time high that we're putting in the Globex, whatever that is. Currently it's at 2606.50, and then I'm sorry, 0675. Then I'm looking for responsive sellers to step in, rotate us down into the 2602 area, chop in this area, push through, close the gap and the naked VPOC, and then push down to test the LVN, chop around here, and then fail and come down to take out this naked close down here at 25.97 and naked VPOC at 25.96.50, basing and then rotating up and closing in around that 2602 area. So that is hypo 2. Hypo 3, we have to use as a open test drive or an open drive. Failure to close the gap at the 2601.50. Find initiative buyers right off the bat, push up into the 2610, and then go sideways up here with a late date probe up to the 13, but coming back and closing somewhere in around the 2608.50 area. That is hypo 3. And then hypo 4 is our breakdown day. Failure to take out the all-time high or take out the all-time high and find immediate selling. Rotate us down into the 2601.50, 2600, chop around here, and then fail and get a trend day down, taking out the overnight low and the 96.75 and pushing through to close the secondary gap down here at the 25.94 with a late day probe at 91, basing down around the 91 to 87 area, and then closing back up inside in around the 95 to 98 area. So those are my 4 main hypotheses for the ES. Again, I'm not trying to make predictions. I'm simply trying to have identifying what the possible auction can look like based on who takes control and when. We're tapping right now on our R1. We've got room for expansion right now on the Keltner up to the 2607, 2608 area. So very, very strong, especially if we get above the 2600. Currently right now, if we open right where we are at 2606 and a quarter, and our close from yesterday was 2601.50. Our half gap fill is going to be 2604. So our half gap fill is 2604, just one tick in front of that. In fact, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this target and just move it to the 2604 and show the half gap. All right, so that is my hypos for the ES. I have rolled over on gold. Unfortunately, right now I'm getting some weird data, and this happens sometimes with DTNMA. I don't think they've completely rolled. I know that this is wrong data right now because the overnight high in gold is at 1300 and 1390 cents, I believe, somewhere in around there. Yeah, it's at 1306, I should say. So something's wrong with my gold. So I'm off gold today, so I'm not even going to bother. This VPOC, composite VPOC, should have shifted with the, and I've done multiple data downloads. But again, I've rolled from the December contract to the February contract on gold as of today, but I won't be trading it today. I'll wait for the data to get better. I'm going to put the overnight high in right now at the 2606.75. The measured move has been completed, so don't worry about that. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at in terms of gold. Remember, starting December, I'm going to be adding the RTY, the Russell, into the mix as well as I get ready to start trading that in the beginning of the new year. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. If you're in visiting us and you're interested in checking out the live trade room, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. I'll give you a couple days pass coming in at the start of December, and you can check it out. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.